Yeah.
It really is.
I'll
And
have go roll.
the only thing that's enjoyable about it is that the nicotine
Good morning, everybody. President McCoy is in traffic. He'll be here shortly. However, we've got all kinds of time commitments here. Denise has to move on pretty soon. We've got trustees on the web in New York City, so we're going to begin, and I will ask Kate to give the roll. Take the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Timothy Callan, absent. John Elmore, absent. Todd Hogler.
Here.
Len Lenahan.
Here.
Kate Messiello is here. Dennis Murphy.
Present.
Susan Swartz.
Present.
Denise Wilson. Here. TK Adebayo.
Here.
We have quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. I think as a tradition that Dennis started, I think we'll, before we go to the consent agreement, just have a moment of reflection on why we're all here today.
Want me to read the mission statement?
Thank you. Now I'll have Todd read the mission statement.
All right. SUNY Erie Community College meets the needs of a diverse student body and contributes to regional economic vitality by providing high-quality, flexible, affordable, and accessible education programs committed to student success.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take up the consent agenda right now, usually, and I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
But a motion made, is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. It is unanimous. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll now go into the committee briefings. Financial health, Tim is not here. Penny, I don't know if there's
I
any.
could give a real
Please
brief
do.
update.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so just the normal stuff, just an update on kind of where we're ending the year, disposal of some material and items is pretty standard. The financial report, we're anticipating approximately $1 million going back into the reserve fund balance, even after our expenses on the ERP project. So that's, yes, thank you very much. That's due to Nina, who could not be here today, and a lot of hard work on the people, not only getting it to go live, making it work well, and really managing the budget well throughout the year. So anyway, just want to share that. That's getting firmer every day. So, and I think. Is there anything here? I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember if there was anything in here you guys needed to vote on.
I think the disposal of material.
Okay.
So,
yeah, and that's just the normal stuff. A lot of equipment that's obsolete.
okay, so I will thank you, Penny. I'll entertain a motion to approve item 1, disposal of material offsets. There's here a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Okay, policy and governance, Kate Messiello.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a policy on policy before you today for your approval. So we've been working throughout the last couple of years to develop policy, but we thought that it's important to codify exactly the difference between a board policy and a managerial policy, to note that these policies are designed to be evergreen, and to specify that the exhibits or the appendices that are attached to a policy are what would change in the process of implementing a policy. And that would not require a full board revote. It's just the process by which the policy is being implemented, which needs to be changed from time to time. So this policy before you is just to set the expectations and communicate those policy definitions and the responsibilities for both management and board. Does anybody have any questions?
I read it, it seems pretty bureaucratic.
That's good. From a policy.
I was totally done when it was over, so.
Oh man, come to our meetings. Come to more of our meetings, that'll numb you up.
But I want to compliment Kate on the ways at her meetings. There's a lot of digging to be done on a lot of this, particularly the people that attended. I appreciate what you've done on that. It was hard work, and
Well, we have a very robust conversations around the table, and I think a well-represented group is always at the table too, and I appreciate the staff's help in keeping us moving forward. And you see that there's also a status of policies in your board packet that shows what we've done and what's still in the hopper. I think that transparency is good as well.
Right. Okay, so there's been Kate has certainly explained the policy, and we'll entertain a motion to approve. Pat makes a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Denise seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item is approved. Unanimously.
You also have in your packet the minutes from our August policy governance meeting.
Yes.
For your
And we will receive and file that.
Yes.
Okay, so now we'll move on. Again, we'll go to advancement. Again, Kate Mazziello.
So the Institutional Advancement Committee met earlier this month, and again, we were delighted to have representation from the ECC, or excuse me, the SUNY Erie Foundation Board. Actually, it is the ECC Foundation Board. I don't think they've changed their name yet. But we're discussing how to reach out to local employers and what can SUNY Erie do for you, and how we can improve the pipeline of our students into the workforce. We're also developing, in conjunction with the foundation, an alumni advisory council of about 7 to 9 folks who will cultivate and enhance relationships with alumni, develop a pipeline of alumni volunteers for events and for other opportunities to tap into their wisdom and networks, and developing a year-long event calendars and trying to get that out well in advance so that everyone understands what events and activities are going to be afforded and available to all of us to enjoy. So we're moving on, and I think again we're in a good place with the foundation and moving to just solidify that relationship. You also have before you the minutes from the September 18th Institutional Advancement meeting.
Okay, so we'll, as we used to say, we'll receive and file that, and it is noted. Thank you, Kate. Strategic planning and assessment. Chair Murphy, any comments on the strategic plan?
It will be brief. The focus right now is setting our calendar for next year and updating the scripted topic of the committee. Other than that, there's no other reports. But I do have just a new business report at the appropriate time, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move to student success and diversity. Co-chairs Schwartz and Wilson are here. And there's an item for board approval. Susan, do you have a comment from the great city of New York? Or if not, we...
Can you let the programs let her speak for student success program?
Okay. Thank you, Susan. We did have a very good meeting for student success and diversity, and as Susan said, she asked me to lead the meeting. That was my first, so thank you. But I know we want to bring one item up for board approval. However, I would like for Rick to speak a little about our dental program accreditation. Dental hygiene, excuse me.
This past month, we've had 2 allied health programs that got accredited. One was dental hygiene. No recommendations, first I've ever seen. There was no recommendations at accreditation. They spoke very highly. We also have EMS, Emergency Management Services. That program was also accredited, and we're waiting for the letter to come forward. And I don't think we're going to have any recommendations there either. So our allied health programs are very strong and doing very well. We have HIT, Health Information Technology, coming up, I think, next week, and we're expecting to get a good response there. These accreditations are very important to the college in terms of the students making sure they have accreditation. So getting jobs and stuff like that is very important to them. So I think that's it for this year in terms of allied health. These programs take a lot to put together. They're self-studied and presented. It's usually 3 or 4 days of creditors being on campus. And so we're very proud of our faculty and the students that are involved. And they review everything. And so that causes a lot of anxiety for everybody.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I just wanted to say for the record that, you know, to have a program go through with no recommendations is commendable. And so congratulations to the staff and faculty, everyone who had their hands on that. So clap, clap for you guys. Also, we had a robust conversation around diversity and inclusion and the diversity and equity, diversity, and inclusion advisory council. Yes. Tracy, yes. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
We're an advisory council.
All right. If you can just give us just a little brief report of the conversation we had there.
Yes, so certainly. So the conversation was about whether or not we were going to be considered a committee under an academic committee, and we decided that we would be an advisory council. Tracy Archie reached out to Carlos Medina at SUNY. He's the vice chancellor and chief diversity officer. So his recommendation was that we were more like an advisory board versus an academic committee. So that's what the direction we chose to go. So that was one of our conversations. So also, ladies, I would like to, during this time, introduce Dan, if you don't mind. Dan is our new employee relations manager, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce Dan and maybe have him say some brief words.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here. I'm coming to you from Toledo, where I did labor relations. Previously, I did work at CCC, working under compliance, so I have some background in higher education. I'm trained as an attorney, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited. I look forward to working with everybody. So, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank
you. So thank you, Tracy. We have a meeting scheduled next month, and it is on the calendar, and that's for the board approval. I would like to bring forth the advisory council appointment requested by SUNY Erie for the Computers and Electronics Technology AAS degree program.
Okay, so Denise made a motion to approve the appointment to the Computer and Electronics Technology program. Do I hear a second? Motion been seconded by Trustee Manzello. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Okay, so at this point, I guess my first report of the chair is next on the agenda. And basically, you know, I just want to report we had a very, I think, productive retreat at the mansion. Those people are always very hospitable. Did a great job. We had thorough discussion on a number of items. Heard a report from President McCoy, and also from Fabio about the strategic plan, and Nina about an update on technology. And we had, in the afternoon, we had a very robust conversation covering a whole range of topics. Most of you probably don't want to hear about it, but it was far-reaching, and I thought it was productive. So that's all I've got for my first report. Next month, hopefully, I'll come up with a few other things to talk about.
Mr. Chair?
Okay. Any comments on Dennis, on the retreat?
First of all, thank you for hosting us, and for the record and into the minutes, we'd like to make sure that the review of the trustees survey, the annual assessment,
right,
is complete.
Right. Okay. So we'll go to the ad hoc committees, and with marketing, you know, Paul and I had talked a couple times. We're going to start meeting quarterly with marketing. We haven't had our first meeting yet, but by the next meeting, which is an informational meeting in November, we will have a report for you. But Paula has been, yes, Paula also addressed the retreat on Thursday night at our dinner, did a fabulous job, and you know, she's in full motion every minute of the day, and we appreciate what you're doing, Paula. And we will have a report for you next month as well. So on technology, Dennis, anything on technology we want to report on?
Well, first of all, I think the report by Mina at the retreat was really helpful, bringing us up to speed. Most importantly, showing how we were able to achieve bringing Workday, at least the first chapter of Workday, online. And to echo Katie's accolades earlier, there's another high five due out to the whole college for participating, work together to bring this online. And it was just very informative from a technology standpoint, learn what happened, how it worked, and what we brought to today. A lot of work to go.
Okay, thank you very much. Todd, curriculum, anything you want to report on there?
Well, we folded the curriculum into the Diversity and Student Success Committee, and I remember we were checking the bylaws to just see how we accomplished that.
And if I reviewed the bylaws, and if we want to include curriculum in the name of that committee, we'll need to revise the bylaws. And I would suggest that if there are any other revisions that anybody wants to consider, that they bring them to the policy committee so that we can do this all at once.
Okay. Okay. Good. Talent management, we approved most of the items in the consent agreement. Susan, anything you want to point out on talent management?
No, Tracy, is there anything you have to say?
Actually, no, I just introduced Dan already and during the other segment.
We have a new provost.
Oh, yes, we will have a new provost. Doug Scheidt. Scheidt will be joining us in January. He will be our new provost. He's coming from SUNY King. So I've had a couple of conversations with him yesterday, working out, medical and just some other, HR related stuff. So he's excited. He's ready to come here, and I think some of his family. I believe some of his family is here now as well. So. So anyway, so he's coming. I'm excited about that. And I think that's it.
I appreciate the process the committee carried out. I thought it was very thorough. The last three we all got a chance to listen to up at the North Campus, so that was great. And I think we've made a good selection.
Yeah, we sent you his resume, his cover letter, and the minutes of our meetings. So I sent you a lot of information about Doug. So if you have any additional questions, either Penny or myself can answer those questions.
I'm excited about his appointment. I think it's going to be really productive. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, next report is the report of the president. Dan?
Great. Well, I was very pleased to attend the Faculty Council of Community Colleges plenary at the Adirondack Community College a few weeks ago with some of our faculty. We've been discussing how to increase floor funding for community colleges. I think as a whole, we're anticipating a drop in enrollment, although we haven't seen that yet here, but other schools have quite drastically. So that greatly impacts, obviously, based on our funding formula, the revenue we have to work with. And so we've talked about maybe combining an ask with the CUNY system, and that way be aligned. The idea is having a floor funding with some adjuster for FTE per year. And then our chancellor was also in attendance at this plenary, and she discussed her 4 focal points of her leadership. One is sustainability, both on campus, but also in terms of areas of research, workforce development, corresponding with the emerging areas that we're seeing in the fields, as well as increasing diversity among SUNY institutions. And she talked about having a goal of 1,000 diverse faculty and staff in the next 10 years at SUNY institutions. Looking at the benchmark statistics in terms of leadership, we're actually about, in terms of diversity, about 1/3, but our faculty and staff are only about 8%, and so she sees this as something she wants to advance more aggressively. So the initiative is called Prodigy, which stands for Promotion and Retention of Diverse and Inclusive something or other. It's some fancy acronym that comes out to Prodigy. And she's also working on getting some endowed chairs for all our institutions. The last initiative is Open SUNY, leveraging the SUNY brand to provide online courses and programs, not only to Americans, but throughout the world. That, being the largest public system and having some excellent faculty on staff, that we can be very competitive. So the idea is that we would partner with something like Coursera, and it would be a bit of a 50-50 split, where they would provide the platform and we would provide the instruction. And SUNY Chancellor Christina Johnson was also visiting us recently this week at North Campus, and so we provided a little tour for her. And she had very limited time as she was going to SUNY Brockport. I want to thank all the faculty and staff and students who were with us to give her a tour. She was very impressed with what she saw, and we got some very good earned media as a result. So she hopes that she will be able to come back to Western New York shortly to visit both city and south campuses, as well as meet with the board and other stakeholders. With regards to academic affairs, SUNY Erie participated in the Buffalo Niagara Manufacturing Alliance Manufacturing Day at Northland Workforce Training Center on October 16th. About 40 companies set up displays and spoke to over 600 Western New York high school students about careers and opportunities in manufacturing. And North Campus held an open world visit for 6 educators from the Ukraine on October 18th. The Buffalo Promise 2-Generation Grant yielded 5 new SUNY Erie students this semester. And through this program, parents can work with career coaches from the One Stop to set career goals and develop personalized plans for success. The first culinary medicine modular class, consisting of SUNY Erie culinary and dietary students along with Duville College's dietary students, was held on October the 9th. And we're also expanding the Science Tutoring Center at City Campus to help facilitate a better tutoring space. Now, the inadequacy of the current space was discussed by our student trustee at the recent Curriculum and Student Success Committee meeting. So this is a direct response to that need. City Campus student Deirdre Slaughter presented as part of a student panel at the Open Education Conference in Niagara Falls earlier this month. And SUNY OER is also sponsoring Deirdre to speak on a student-faculty panel at the Online Learning Consortium Conference with Professor Dave Uzinski in Orlando in November. And the College Senate adopted a resolution to start an advanced studies task force to help increase the number of high school students offering advanced studies. With regards to student services, CompER, Buffalo has been awarded a $374,000 grant to administer mental health first aid training from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. This company has partnered with us before for the past 3 years, and approximately 470 staff, faculty, and students have been certified in that time. So training topics include how to assess whether a student is at risk, effective communication strategies, and available intercampus and community resources for students. From Human Resources, we have an updated sexual harassment policy, and it was released to all staff earlier this month to meet federal deadline of October the 9th. And so beginning in January of 2019, HR will transition from We Comply to Skillsoft for online compliance training of all our staff. HR is also in the process of implementing Workday Recruit, which will replace Taleo as the new employee recruitment tool. And the Office of Equity and Diversity is revising and updating the current Equity and Diversity Plan, as well as policies and practices related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. From IRAP, the General Education Committee and College Senate are currently working on building rubrics for each of the year's institutional learning outcomes. Each of the area's institutional learning outcomes. 3 student surveys have been or will be launched in the next few weeks to gather data on important important assessment areas for the college. The surveys are the midterm course survey, the college-wide health and wellness survey, and a college-wide student satisfaction survey. And so we think this will help us hear what the student voice is at various points in the year. From enrollment management, Career Services is in the process of launching its Career Mentor program for the year. And the goal of the program is to connect students seeking mentorship in their career fields with members of the business community to prepare them for life after graduation from the college. Enrollment management is creating a division-wide committee on each campus focusing on customer service and what we're calling the Erie Bounce. The goal of the project is to gain feedback from students and employees on the front line of student service interactions in order to empower employees to create solutions to student issues rather than bounce students from office to office. The college is also launching a course schedule analytics project with Ad Astra to gather course section enrollment data for the past few years. The results of this effort will guide SUNY Erie faculty and administration in providing the appropriate number of course section offerings each semester. And also from enrollment management, as Penny just alluded to, we are currently on budget with what was approved for our 18-19 budget in the fall of 18. And we actually expect to return roughly $1 million into the fund balance, which results in, yeah, we got good. The anticipated fund balance reserve for the end of fiscal year 18 is over $18.5 million. So that's an embarrassment of riches. And then recently, earlier this week, I was able to provide the keynote presentation for ICUBO, which is the Eastern Association for College and University Business Office at Buffalo Convention Center. So that's all from the president.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Davis.
Please proceed. Thank you. Okay, TK, student trustee report, anything you want to impart on us?
Yes, great. It'll be a short report. So October was a very exciting month. I had some discussion with Director of Admission and Director of Financial Aid. And actually, thanks to our Chancellor search, I found out statistically, the majority of students are looking for college, they turn to YouTube. So now what we've done with financial aid, the director has now launched live links so that students have a step-by-step process when navigating the financial aid process. And also what we like to do as well is actually have SUNY Erie students make videos to show you, so this is where you are starting and this is where you're going to end up. And if you end up going left, these are resolutions that can end up being successful for you. Also with admissions, Student Government Association has partnered with them now. So we are officially as part of their board. So whenever a student comes in with an ambassador, student will definitely see the Student Government Office and now see the robust options they have. So whether it be activities, clubs, or even being part of the student government. Also, I'd like to say that last night we had a nice run-in with the SUNY Chancellor Johnson. And she was very, very impressed about her stop at SUNY Erie. That's really exciting.
Great.
And one last thing with the suggestion with Dr. Clark. We're moving more towards having legacy events here at SUNY Erie. So in the past, SGA has always done kind of one-off events, weekly, bi-weekly. And our goal to kind of have from year to year moving forward are events that are known. So just like UB or Bucks, they have their legacy events. We want to have those capstones, and our first is actually going to be the snowball. We originally were only going to do 150 students be able to attend. but the demand has been so high, we've now bumped it up to 200. And frankly, I think we're gonna have to bump it up past that point because it's very, very exciting time. Thank you.
Fantastic. Great report, DK. Okay, College Senate. Colleen Quinn.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
So at our October meeting, we had a recap of the Middle State Small Team Report, and we were able to go on record with our assessment mentors and all the different faculty and staff and administrators that has helped us get all of our ducks in a row for our small team visit and make sure that we had some accolades for everybody that helped us with that. As Dr. McCoy also mentioned that we are pushing out the ILO rubrics that were developed by the General Education Committee, and we sent those out. They're also up on the website, and we're asking for feedback from faculty and staff to look through those, and then we will be working with them to get those approved. Our academic roadmaps task force has been meeting monthly, and we've identified early childhood, culinary arts, health and wellness, and the business departments to be the first programs that we're going to be working with to develop the academic roadmaps to get those transfer paths for the four-year SUNY schools ready. And as also Dr. McCoy mentioned, we developed a task force for advanced studies. So that came about because there have been parallel initiatives throughout the college where different departments have said, hey, you know, English isn't here or math isn't here, and we are nowhere in the city of Buffalo or very small in the city of Buffalo. And so some faculty and staff got together and they said, hey, what can we do to get promoting more? We worked with Deb Schmidt's office, we developed a task force, and with the advanced studies, Deb can go out and talk about the program, but the teachers want to talk to the faculty members that are the content experts. So, you know, they want to know that the math courses or the English courses and all the different courses are on par with what, you know, they're teaching or are on par or above advanced placement courses. So, you know, as talented as Deb is, that's a bunch of different areas that she has to be ready for. So we are going to be supporting her office and going in and helping recruit with the actual faculty members in the high schools to move on with the advanced studies and help with enrollment that way. We are also, similar to TK, everybody's very excited to be part of Snowball. We have a lot of people that are also very excited to be a part of College Senate. So we are going to be putting up a bylaw change. We talked about it at the last meeting, and we're going to be voting on it in November. We're going to be adding 3 additional at-large members to the Senate membership. And what is unique about that with our at-large membership, it can be any employee of the college. So that includes students that work within the college, part-time, it can include security, CSA, maintenance, anyone that receives a paycheck from the college can be an at-large member. So that's, we have 2 currently right now, so it'll expand that and it'll make the College Senate membership more robust. And
How do you go about selecting them? Is there a little process? Can people apply or?
well, what we'll do for once, if it passes in November,
Right.
the positions will be by appointment until elections, and the election cycle is in April. So we have people that have reached out, and we'll probably appoint them in the interim, and then during the election cycle, those new positions will be up for election. So we have a nomination period. It gets announced in March, and there's a due date. It's up on ECC today, or SUNY Erie today, and where people will, if they're interested, they can also be nominated by other members from their department and things like that as well. And they can email myself or the College Senate Secretary, and then we seek out everyone to see if they are in fact interested in running for the different offices, and then we have an election.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Let's see. Marketing policy, Andy did a presentation for us and briefed us on all the different things that we're going to be working on across the college, how they're working on the website, but they're also going to be at all 3 campuses doing photo shoots and video shoots for social media channels, working on getting rid of old banners and old signs and revamping them and getting them more up to date. And we can attest with their faculty that are on some of the banners that have been retired for 5+ years. So that'll be a nice refreshing look for our hallways once that is done. And let's see. And then lastly, I just want to take the opportunity, the College Senate has been in existence for 7 years, and the College Senate has had the opportunity for the last 4 years to be able to report to the board our activities. And I just wanted to say, you know, that we really appreciate the opportunity to be able to give a standing report to the board at each board meeting, and that it is a significant advancement in shared governance as it enhances our role, and it, without diminishing administrative autonomy, and the Senate and administration appreciates the opportunity to promote a shared message to the board. The next College Senate meeting is November 13th, and it's at B207 at North Campus at 2:30 p.m. We will be streaming it through our site, and you guys are all welcome to attend.
Thank you
so much.
Sure, thank you.
Thanks. Your meetings are great. I mean, it's a very vital organization, a lot of participation. Everybody gets to be involved, and you do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so auxiliary services, Sue, any reports?
Actually, our reports were submitted through Financial Health, student activity fee usage and rollovers, and the facility payment, that is our contractual obligation to the college, so that was submitted in Financial Health. The only other items, just to let you know, we, auxiliary services awarded $10,000 in Follett textbook scholarships to 40 students back in September. And our independent audit is currently underway. And we will also be having our organizational meeting of our board in November for election of officers. That's all I have.
How is the new dining room coming?
The cafeteria is very well received. We've had a lot of positive comments. Sales are running at about par with last year.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, is there any old business for the board that anybody wants to take up or consider? Any comments in New York? Okay.
I'll just say that I'm going to type up the notes from our retreat so that we and disseminate them to the board members.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, any new business?
Yes, sir, from the other end of the table. Thank you.
I'm sorry to catch that.
From the other end of the table. He said from the other end of the table.
Oh, yeah.
It was a track of us over here, haven't you?
Oh, no, we're watching you. We don't think we're watching you. We're watching you.
What's that old TV where we're watching?
How's the conference going?
Hello. If we may. First off, as I mentioned in last month's meeting,
Hold on.
in front all across America for college trustees.
Can you repeat that, please?
Repeat that, Dennis. We're having a hard time.
You're coming in and out.
I'm sorry. SUNY Erie was prominently featured all day yesterday across America to community college trustees. We had the opportunity to be the feature presenter at the Chairman's Academy at the annual conference, and I'm delighted to say that people were not only interested in SUNY Erie, but more importantly, very respectful of SUNY Erie at the end of the day. Showing our strengths and sharing some of our weaknesses and how we corrected our weaknesses. And normally it's those are really tough presentations, but we took the tactic of making sure that everyone understanding that no one is perfect, and when perfection shows, how we take corrective action to correct our and turn it into an opportunity, challenge to an opportunity. In addition to that, it was so exciting because we had then there and after for dinner, we had a special event with Chancellor Johnson. He was very surprised by the event. And most importantly was featuring of her visit to Erie, and could not say enough about our president, Dr. Okoye. So Dr. Okoye made a great impression with our chancellor. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Report. Susan, I believe, has a question, Mr. Chair. It was relating to the president's report.
Sure.
Yeah. And just a question on the surveys and past, we haven't been very successful, and so I was told that there is a threshold percentage for an effective analysis. What are we doing to improve getting more involvement, participation in this in the future?
So we're looking at having various incentives, including laptops or tablets, other gift certificates, things of that nature. Research shows very effective in having students participate in surveys. So it will be in conjunction with some goodies.
It always works.
Okay, Kate.
Can I make a suggestion that we receive the former chairman's remarks at this conference and put them into the minutes so that we can have the benefit of reading, for those of us who weren't able to attend the conference, what went on there?
Thank you. We have it front and center. We're going to bring it back and have copies for everybody.
Fabulous.
That'll be great.
Thank you.
And, we appreciate the effort you made to participate this morning. First, it was needed.
Yes.
And secondly, it was informative. And all three of you, we appreciate your participation today. And Dennis, I'm sure you're going to give a great presentation. It's today?
Yesterday.
Something yesterday. This year, look at it. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much. I don't think, is there any other new business? Anything else? I don't think we need an executive session today. We don't have much of a quorum anyways. Now, in terms of the monthly learning opportunity, we're going to put that, we were going to have it last month with JMZ, and obviously you got carried away. There was things going on. So I think what we're going to do is have that in November. That'll be our first learning opportunity to provide tenure here. And we'll make sure we have that ready to go for the information meeting in November. Anything else? Anybody else have any other comments? Looks like it's a good short meeting today. There's a lot of other things to do, so that's probably a good thing. And like I said, the informational meeting is next month on the 15th. And we look forward to seeing you then. Anything else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Stand adjourned.
Enjoy New York.
Enjoy the rest of the trip to New York. Have fun. Thank you. Peace.
I think Althea Lewerson from the foundation. Yes.